So Stellaris has recently announced in the last few Dev Diaries about the new Necroid species pack coming to the game. Now, I haven't touched over it just yet, but I decided that that is something that I would like to start doing. Coming into the game is Necroids. It's a species pack that plays similar to that of Lithoids in a way that it introduces new gameplay mechanics that we've never seen before. And it'll be a unique thing just for, obviously, Necroids, and they grow at different rates and all these other things. But anyways, here are some new gameplay mechanics that we'll be going into. I got the 2 Dev Diaries up that will talk about this, and we'll try making it through this in a decent amount of time. Now, the Necrophage origin will basically be a thing that is converting alien pops or other sort of primitive species into your species per se. You're essentially going to be sacrificing them, and that's just going to be the way how your pops grow. It could eventually, once you start running out of other species, you're going to have growth limited. So this is probably going to be a gameplay mechanic that is going to be, you're going to be constantly at war almost. It might not be a total war empire per se, that we'll have to just find out. I can see that the Necroids being absolutely appalling to the galactic community, and there might be something that's at war quite a bit, because it is disturbing how if they captured some of your people, they'd just kill them and then somehow reanimate their body with a different mind loyal to them, which I can see most species not tolerating in this game. But anyways, with the Necrophage here, your leaders and ruler jobs can only be your undead species. You start with a secondary species on your planet, much like syncretic evolution, but you'll pretty much be sacrificing them to grow your Necroids. That's just basically how it's going to be. You're not going to have conventional pop growth. So it's probably going to be slower than any other species, but then in a way, there'll probably be a way to have it really boom mid to late game. I can really see that. And you get primitive civilizations on other planets when you grab this origin as well, which will be useful when you land those colonies, because you're going to be needing to convert that other civilization into your Necroids by sacrificing them. But anyways, here looking into the Necrophage a little bit more. Your leader lifespan is plus 80 years, ruler pop output plus 5%, specialist pop resource output plus 5%, worker pop resource output negative 10%, pop growth speed negative 75%, pop food upkeep and mineral upkeep negative 50%. Now, when I first seen this, I'm like, okay, that's going to suck. But with this food and mineral upkeep, yeah, you might not be making nearly as much food, but it's going to, in turn, the food upkeep is reduced, so you might be making a little bit more with how the pops aren't consuming as much. Now with minerals, yeah, you might have a little bit of a hit early game. I can see with your alloy production, because you're going to be making 10% less minerals. But I don't see that being that bad. But the pop growth speed, negative 75%, that's going to be brutal. But I'm sure with the way that these mechanics are going, that there's going to be workarounds to that in the long term of the game. Now here, taking a look at the Chamber of Evolution, it increases stability by 5 on a planet, and it has necrophyte jobs, and these necrophytes turn consumer goods and food into unities and amenities. Once every 10 years, necrophytes are transformed into Pash Artisans in an elevation ritual. We don't know what Pash Artisans are yet that I know of. Well, we'll see once we start going through the next Dev Diary. And an elevation ritual. I don't know if that's going to be an edict or a planetary decision, but we'll have to see. The plus 6 unity and plus 18 amenities will be good. I could totally see kind of finding a way to merge this with my Exalted Priesthood build for a good build for this. I'm not entirely sure. But taking a look down here, it's looking like necrophytes are a different species or a subspecies or something, but they're not the same as all the other ones. And well, obviously they'll be transformed, so whether or not they get killed right here and the new people come in, we don't know. We'll just have to see. Exactly. I'm thinking they'll die, convert into regular Necroids, and then the next set of enslaved people will be dropped in there. Next up is the Civic reanimated armies. With armies in Stellaris, they're essentially useless, as you can just mass produce the basic ones, or just bomb planets into submission. You can just have your fleets there long enough, and then eventually there'll be no troops on the planet. You just land whatever thing you have. So armies, not the greatest. But it's right here with the Dread encampment is where it makes this reanimated armies more interesting. Now your army starting experience will be 10 more than your average military academy here at 100. Instead, it'll be at 110. So your armies will be stronger for this than before. But the real kicker is the Necromancer job. The Necromancers turn consumer goods into physics and society research in naval capacity and spawn defense armies. This is going to be amazing, I personally think, because it reminds me that of the Civic that converts what's it called, your entertainers into duelists, and then the duelists use alloys to produce unity, amenities, and naval capacity. And just the fact that you're using alloys to increase your naval capacity is just ridiculous. I find that so stupid that in early game, if you wanted to boost your naval capacity up, you're going to be sacrificing a bunch of your alloys, which you would use to build those ships that would you fill that naval capacity with. I personally think it's stupid early game. This, on the other hand, is using consumer goods, and you get research and naval capacity out of this. I'm definitely going to be doing a build with reanimated armies. I can 100% see that, and it will be fun. Jumping down to the next thing, since we're talking about armies, we're going to take a look at these stats here. 1.8 to 3.6 damage, 2.8 to 5.7, 125% collateral, health 200. We'll take a look at the beginning armies here, because pretty much anything from like robotic assault army, no, they're not nearly as good either, but anything from like psionic down is going to be better regardless. I said 1.8 to 3.6, so they're better than your average assault army. They will have a lot more collateral damage. That's just going to be the kicker for all of this. You can have a lot of people die, which might be the issue. Slave armies are weaker, clone armies are weaker, robotic assault armies are weaker. The only big difference is really nothing other than not having morale. I think they're going to be some of the best starting armies in the game. Not that armies are super relevant, but time will tell. Obviously, taking a look at the Civic, they can't be a pacifist, and it conflicts with citizen service. But I think it'll be fun. I think this whole Dread encampment is going to be a very critical thing to a lot of builds in the future. But now jumping up to Dev Diary 184. Now, this one came out a little while ago. I did read through it then. But I feel with touching on Necroids and making a Necroids video that I should go in and talk about this as well. Now, death cults are coming to the game, and corporate death cults and stuff along those lines. Essentially, you create sacrificial temples. Death priests will take consumer goods and convert into unity, society, and amenities. Your mortals, I'm assuming, are regular species that you've gathered throughout the galaxy, are in there as well, and they turn consumer goods into society research, and they unlock a set of sacrifice edicts, providing Emperor Wild bonuses whenever mortal initiates are sacrificed. So essentially, you'll just turn on an edict and it'll kill all the mortals working these things and increase your Necroid pops. That's what I'm assuming out of that. I'm really, really liking this because the whole Unity, Society, and Amenities is very close to how my Exalted Priesthood build went. So I am super stoked to start working on one of these. I'm thinking Death Cults and Reanimated Armies. Possibly. We'll see. I think it'll be fun, though. And obviously taking a look now here at the Corporate Death Cult, it's essentially the exact same thing, but for the Megacorps, because the undead apparently have monetary value in the afterlife. But taking a look now here at the Sacrificial Temple, it's very much like the Exalted Priesthood's Temple, where consumer goods are turned into Unity Society and amenities, which I think might actually be a little bit more than the typical temple. Although obviously we can't see right in this screen, but I think it might be on par or maybe just a little bit better. We'll just have to see. I'd have to actually sit down and look at the numbers for this. Now, obviously, Death Priest will be your specialist. They have to be your Necroids, and then every other role in there will be your Mortal Initiate, where they'll throw in those people. You only get one job, though, so when you do this, what's it called, the Sacrifice Edicts, you're going to want temples on every single one of your worlds. But whether or not these temples, you can only have one per world, is the kicker. I don't think you can only have one per world. I think you can have numerous ones, just like the regular temple. So it's probably going to be something that you're going to want to have 2 or 3 of on a planet, and you're going to have a huge society unity and amenities boost with having numerous ones per planet. But we'll just have to see exactly how that works in the future. Now, taking a look here at the Sacrifice Edicts, the 3 new edicts coming to the game. We got Togetherness, kills all mortal. I think all of these will kill all mortal initiates, so I'll just kind of gloss over that. You'll gain unity up to 35% in total, monthly unity 10%, pop growth speed plus 5%, and a new event that starts. This could be good with how pop growth speed sucks really bad with Necroids, but we'll just have to see. Now for the Harmony one, it increases pop happiness, 50% in total, happiness 10%, pop growth speed 5%. This one might be a bit better because higher happiness of pops will in turn produce more resources. So if you're having issues with people, this might be an edict you want to consider activating after capturing enemy planets. And now for the last one, we have Bounty. And this one, it seems to be more based around resources rather than unity, happiness, and now resources. This one might be a really good one early game to be activating, I personally think. So you'll get your monthly and energy credits activated. Well, not activated, boosts to their production. But it's only 5%, so maybe it's not the best choice. I think Harmony might be the best one early game, but having the increased in monthly minerals, monthly energy credits, activating that if you're struggling with staying neutral or positive with those things, maybe the small boost might help. Those numbers are small, so later game activating it, we'll see a larger increase in obviously all of your resources. But yeah, that's Necroids, and I'm excited to see them. They're probably going to be dropping around Halloween. I will do an Empire build and maybe even a potential Necroids giveaway, depending on how people feel about that. But thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. I know this might have been a bit longer, but it is what it is. Thanks for watching. Until next time.